How many of you have sales goals for 2010?
That's so wonderful.
Are they lower than 2009? Show of hands. No?
Good for
Can
you.
define sales expectations, you're talking revenues or number of sales calls? What are your
Revenue.
Revenue. This is in terms of revenue. So, Steve, in terms of revenue, tell me your name and your company, just so we know.
Steve Deloge, Rockwell Art and Framing, Fairfield County.
Okay. And Steve's a client of ours. Where are you in terms of your goals for 2010 versus 2009?
Exceeding tremendously.
Okay. Exceeding tremendously. So, is anybody saying this 2009 actual? They're looking exactly the same? Or everybody plans on moving upward? Higher than 2009, right? Okay. And then, from a 1 to 10%
Up.
range, up. Okay. From 11 to 20.
Like
Over 20, that's
Both.
fine. Over 20 is ours. So,
Steve, you're over
Steve,
20.
you're over
Anybody
20?
else over 20?
you are, Rosemary? Okay.
Okay.
And it's very interesting, when you look at where the two of you both are in your business, you've said to everyone in the room that things are coming back in your business. And you have just acquired 2 new companies?
3,
3. Okay, so,
And looking to acquire how many more?
6.
okay, have you identified them yet?
I've identified a few.
Okay, good. All right. So the thing is, and then we'll get to this in a little bit as well, but the point that I want to make with this is that in terms of exceeding those goals or raising the bar, you have to have a plan to come to it. And there's foundations on both sides here. Rosemary, do you want to introduce yourself? Because you had said.
Rosemary Monaco, my company is Group M, we do public relations and marketing communications.
Okay. So, thank you. In establishing that baseline for January to April, is it what you expected to see? Just about what you expected to see? Anybody? Yeah? Nodding your
January to
heads?
April.
Yes, okay. So it's what you thought it would be. Anyone slower than expected?
In January to April.
In January to April. You are?
I was.
You were.
You're saying it's slower than expected?
Than
then?
expected, okay.
Yeah, I mean, based on what was happening at the end of the year,
Right.
where there was a lot of activity in terms of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I expected more to hit earlier in the year. It's taken until now.
Okay. Want to
So-
introduce yourself? Well, I think everybody pretty much knows you're so famous and fabulous,
Susan?
but Susan?
Susan Villamina, my company is Westerly Enright, and we're in the sales recruiting business. So we sort of get to see what companies are doing as it relates to ramping up their sales forces. And I have to tell you that it really started, a lot of dialogue started in August and September and October of last year. People started coming out of the woodwork. In the early part of the year, it was very, very quiet. And then by the summer, now I started getting like, when we want to talk, we're interested. Most were scared away by our fees, but what can I tell you? It costs money to get quality. And so I really expected that by January, it was going to really hit hard. And it didn't. It was a little quieter in January. Not dead, but better than the year before. And then around, I don't know, March and April, that's when it really started to hit. And I have to say also, and I think my partner Laura would agree with me, candidates were harder to find last year, interestingly enough. When we thought that they were going to come out of the woodwork, and they didn't. This year, the activity has gone up tremendously. I'm not saying there's a lot of quality out there. That's part of what we have to sift through. But I mean, I think you would
I
agree.
think people are less afraid to make a move too.
Right,
Most of them are working.
which
They're
is
not
good.
unemployed, they're working. But
Right.
they're a little
But
bit
are
more.
they underemployed?
No, not necessarily. No, they're not happy, and they were willing to stay where they were last
Right.
year
Because
because they
were
weren't
right.
happy.
Right.
But now, no, and another thing too is, people, now's the opportunity, now's the time for someone in sales to take a look at switching it into a different industry. Because, in the world of sales, those of you that can sort of let go of the need to have somebody in your industry When you can let go of that and really open yourself up to someone who's in sales or who's a good salesperson, it's amazing what can happen. And so where we've seen the most amount of success for our clients as well as for the candidates, they're shifting industries. Their industries are alike in a lot of ways, but they're not coming with those clients supposedly, because most salespeople can't bring their clients over anyway, even though they tell you that they can.
Well,
but-
listen, when you look at it, and again, this is your, especially your and Bob and Laura's area of expertise, but when you look at a salesperson and what a salesperson brings to the table, either you have strong sales skills or you don't. And there's a spectrum in terms of what those skills need to be. You want someone that's great for prospecting in a prospecting job. You want somebody that's great for closing in a closing job. So when you're looking to hire a salesperson in terms of these goals and what you need to do, I think it's very important to identify what the sales skill is that you need.
Right.
You don't want someone, if you're a closer, if you need a closer, you don't want a cold caller in there, that's the only thing they can do. It's a very different skill set. You know, we look at strategy leaders and what we do, I am extremely resistant to cold calling. It drives Andy insane. I can close, anything, but in terms of cold calling, it's my least favorite thing. This is why she's gonna send me back to Bob at the end of this. Anyway, but it's the kind of thing where you need to have the right person in there doing the right piece of the job.
The truth shall set you free, Liz.
Get the bricks, okay.